Again,
Hi.
There she
yes,
goes. We call
hi,
her
everybody.
the head lady. We call her economic
That's
development.
my thought.
She's definitely about economic development. And when we talk about transformation, then you have to look at the CC. Chloe is the person, right?
The
When it comes to
CC. I
economic
love it.
development, she has taken Tampa as a whole to a new school, next generation approach as to how do CDC function in order to transform communities. And her son has taken over that, but she started it.
Well, thank you, Michael. I appreciate all those kind words, and you really keeping the CDC movement not only in West Tampa going, but you're doing a national model. So I appreciate you taking the time to talk to Alice and to June. We're part of the FDOT team. We've been, to the CRA at West Tampa, and what we heard, Michael, as we go to these meetings, everybody is talking about jobs, and we're saying as we building these highways and interstate and bridges or anything else through our communities, we want to make sure that we ensure that we can get local people hired. So what we're talking about today with our team is more local. FDOT has a statewide, but we're doing the local. And I'm so glad to have Alice and June as part of the team. And, this is something really, everybody, I'm on God's assignment right now. Nobody lets me retire, Michael. So this is my assignment, okay?
Excellent.
So we want to make sure we come talk to you. I didn't know if Joe Robinson was going to get on or not, but if you can
He's
please.
not. When I talked to him, Joe has a pre-scheduled meeting.
Okay.
But as you know, I represent the CDC. As a matter of fact, I'm a board member with the CDC, looking over economic development from the CDC side of things.
Okay, good. So that's why I told Alice and them that we're going to come and talk to you, because you are the practitioner in West Tampa. And Alice, just for informational sake, I met Michael when he first came here to Tampa. He came from Baltimore, and I heard about all the wonderful work he had done. And what CDC of Tampa did, we partnered with the West Tampa CDC. We got some money from the state, and we helped them to develop their force and their small business center. And Michael is still carrying on that mission today. So again, Michael, I say thank you.
Well, us, we committed for life. You know how we do. We for life. Until we die, we be fighting. We be like walking around with a cane. 90 years old, but we still fight because that's all we know.
True, Michael. In fact, I'm laughing as I'm down here with City Council with this housing thing, and I go through the scanner and it beeping everywhere. So I told the man, I said, "Now I got two knees I had done. I got body knees." So when you said that, body knees and all, we're committed. So this team is committed too. So Alice, I'm gonna turn it over to you, and then we'll hear from Michael.
Okay. Hi, Michael. I'm sorry I had to go grab a pen because I had all this other equipment with me, but then I didn't have a pen. Junior, sharing your screen. Did you mean to?
Yeah. Is that okay? Or is there distracting?
I think it's a little distracting. I want to see Michael's face. She's just taking notes there. So thank you, though, for doing that. This is June Farrell. She's on our team, too. And I've been working with DOT for almost 20 years now over here in Tampa. And we are in a new space, Michael. We have not been in this workforce conversation, but because we've kind of relied on our contractors, right? The construction teams to go out and get their people. But I'll tell you, we're in somewhat of a crisis mode and will be over the next few years. We've got, at a minimum, just in the urban core from the Howard Franklin Bridge over into downtown Tampa, we've got $2 billion worth of work that's either underway already or is about to be underway within the next year and a half, which is huge. And Chloe and I'm sure she already told you, we went and did the rounds like 3 years ago. I was the department's project manager on the planning and environmental study that we had to do. And we sat in those CRAs and said, hey, we're going to be creating jobs through these programs, and we want to bring those jobs back to the local communities. And so we're really serious about that, Michael, and we appreciate you getting on the call today. And I want to do some listening, but, we'll do a little bit of talking here and there too. But the first thing I heard you mention was the small business program. I'd love to hear more about what you're doing with that program. Because that's certainly, I think everybody's phones are going crazy on an Amber Alert. Is that what happened in here? Okay. All right, I'm going to turn my...
in the background.
Yeah.
Whenever they send out an alert, like an Amber Alert, it comes to your phone.
Exactly.
That's what's going on in the background.
So mine really came out loud. Okay.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. Well, we're going to call this, that'll be our theme. We're an Amber Alert for construction workers, right?
Excellent.
And for inclusion with DBE and small business in our construction projects, with those amounts of money, there is plenty of money to be made by all of our community partners and by our subcontractors and subcontractors. So what, can you talk to me a little bit about the Small Business Center that Chloe mentioned?
Yeah, that's part of our strategy to economic development. And the Small Business Center, what it does is attempt to look at, let me come back into the screen. Give me 1 second while I catch up with this technology. Okay, good, there we go, I can see everybody. So what the Small Business Center does is first. Our foremost purpose is to create wealth in the community. We know, especially in West Tampa, there is a large number of minorities that do not own their business. As a matter of fact, 93% of people in West Tampa do not own their own business. Our strategy is to put together a strategy that allows them to own their own business. Anywhere from putting together a business plan, doing a loan application, how to put together a bid, all those things related to economic development. So our focus is really creating the narrative that create wealth in the community. And that includes workforce as well as small business. See, our strategy is that if we create small businesses, then we create workforce. Because the businesses are actually going to hire people from the community. So it's like it goes that particular way in terms of the strategy. And everything is focused on public safety, on crime. You want to reduce crime? Give people jobs and businesses.
Right.
That way you reduce crime. So our strategy is focused on economic development as a strategy for public safety. Everything we do goes back to public safety. How do we reduce crime? From economic development to workforce development.
Awesome. We're aligned in those objectives because DOT's number one objective is also safety. We usually focused on our roads, but we can't just stop where our roads end and think that our communities are safe as well. We actually know that part of what we do when we design stuff, either introduces safety hazards or can reduce safety hazards. So we're partnering in that. Let me ask you on the small business, then, do you focus in any certain industry or do you kind of keep it broad to be able to?
Anything and everything. We specialize in anything. We meet the needs by finding out what does the person need. And it's not always a cookie cutter. You have to actually say, what do you need? We'll look at the industry and then we'll provide you with the necessary opportunity. In West Tampa, there's a lot of people that want to do construction.
Yeah.
They don't have the capacity to do that. So we work with them as to this is what you need to bring yourself to capacity to complete in terms of construction. So that's just one example of what we do. So no, we specialize, we look at anything related to starting that business.
Awesome.
If you want to start a business and help, we do the whole 9 yards.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was wondering if we run into sometimes where people are more focused on healthcare or computer technology or other things. So I'm glad to hear construction is a part of your program. That's definitely where we align, and I feel like we can partner together well. I know that our procurement office has lists that they go through where when we struggle with a certain element of whatever project's being procured, they'll tell that consultant or tell the contractor, hey, these are where we need to have more inclusion in certain areas. So we could actually help provide those lists so that oh, okay, they're struggling with this type of element or that type of element, and help align some of your potential small businesses.
Yeah.
And the other thing is with these big projects that are coming up, there's the prime contractor, he's the big guy, but there's always room for lots and lots of the little guys.
Definitely.
And
that's what we work with the subs. Yeah.
Yeah. Like and we can help. What DOT wants to do too is help match make, between, like, there may be some small businesses that aren't aware of who those big contractors or don't have the relationships with them. So we want to enable some of those relationships to take place. So I love that. Do you see that as a synergy as well?
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Definitely. I think that we think alike. That's why I'm just setting quiet, right? Because when you just sat back and said, "Yeah, that's what I'm saying."
Okay, good,
yeah, exactly.
good.
And not only that, we see it from two perspectives. First, from the perspective of building capacity to start your business, and then on the other end, if we need people to work in construction, we got a lot of people that need jobs. So we do both of those, and we created this network, this clan house, if you will, and we're getting people to submit their skill set. So when jobs come up, we can actually match them with the potential employment opportunity, be it construction, healthcare, whatever the case might be. We got a ready group of people ready to go. We look at their skill sets, so it's going to be a good match for that particular job.
I love that, Michael. So do you have a name for that program, or is that
we call
just something?
It the West Tampa Clan House Network. It's basically about creating economic opportunity by connecting residents to job opportunities. That's basically, it's just like what they do at what is the center? Workforce? I think they call Workforce.
Career Source.
Career Source. We do the same thing, but on a local level. Where Career Source look at the whole of Hillsborough County, we only focus on West Tampa. We give it that place-based approach.
Perfect.
And we give the extra care that they normally don't get if they go to a place like Workforce. They come here in the community, it's like, hey, it's all about family.
So what, Michael, do you focus on a certain age group or all age groups?
Age group. From actually we do from youth, again, to that person 99 years old about to fall down. Because they also can contribute, especially when it comes to small business. You got senior citizens out here that can cook. If we can match them on the internet with people that want to buy that, okay, bam, that's part of that network, connecting people to opportunity. I've seen a senior citizen online, and every Sunday she comes online, she talks about, she got these big pots of sweet potatoes, greens, cornbread, but she's got a good strategy. And people come on and buy dinner. You want to use that strategy. So social media is also a platform to give people opportunity. It don't make a difference if you're a senior citizen. We will find it fit for you to bring in money.
Michael, I went there Sunday and got a deal. My cousin been telling me about that. She lives in Grant Park and she has ordered her children to help her.
Yes. So we want to exempt that. We want to take that and put it on thyroid. So what they call it, not thyroid. Yeah, thyroid. You want to put it on, take it to the mass level, so everybody can get an opportunity to do that. Another person online, she actually, she's a senior. She showed people how to tell and all like that. So it's so much potential. You got another guy. Well, he has a criminal record. He can't get a job. So we say, come on over to the business center. We will work with you in creating your own lawn service business. Yeah. So it's always opportunity for folks to get into the game.
Well, I'll tell you, just to give you some insight, we've met with a lot of our contractors, the big prime contractors that would be not only hiring the subs, but hiring the individual workers. And they do not have any prerequisite besides, pass a drug test, come to work on time, and work hard. Those are the three things. And I get it that sometimes those things are challenges, but what kind of things? I know you mentioned you do some, you do the skill matching where you come in and you have one of your candidates might come in and say, hey, I've got this set of skills. you know, do you match them up with contractors or construction very often?
Employers in general, including contractors. So what would normally happen, that person will go to our site, they will put in their skill set, their resume and everything in a database. Then we meet with potential job opportunity, put them into the database. And when there's a match, we send them, hey, we found a match that fit the requirements that you're looking for. So that's the way that works. And using that system to match people with economic opportunity. And we will also provide the soft skills. We don't want to send a person to your job and 30 days later they quit. So they have to go through that soft skill training. So we can show that if we send them, they're there for the long haul.
And that's like resume building,
how to do interviews, the whole 9 yards, how to negotiate a salary, all those things in the background that they need to know. From looking that person in the eyes to shaking their hand, the whole 9 yards we deal with. Because we want people to say that if they send you, just like the CDC of Tampa does, if that person send you, we know they got a reputation of saying they're going to send us a good potential employer. Nobody likes somebody to come and say, you send me that person, they quit 2 weeks later.
Right.
You have
Exactly.
to build a reputation that before they come to you, we flag them already to give them that job set.
I love that. And we know construction's a hard field. You know, it's very different than an air-conditioned environment where people are sitting at a desk potentially. But we do also want to sell the rewards of it. And that's, you know, really helping shape the face of your community, building pride in your community. And they're good paying jobs. They're good paying jobs with the potential to advance your career for long term, even if you're already, you know, advanced in age. So I love that. I want to know also what do you feel like that we would need, DOT would need to arm you with, like provide you to help you make those connections. So is it just a list of job opportunities with kind of the career path associated with those, or what types of things would help you be able to sell our jobs to one of your folks or match them up to one of your folks?
So definitely that list of potential jobs, because the one thing we want to do is not only for that person to get a job in construction, but tell that person, learn everything you can so you can start your own construction business.
Yes.
So that's how we get people to come and stay. We say, learn everything you can. So while you're doing that in the evening time, you're taking classes to start your own business. So that definitely will be one thing that we will need. I definitely don't know everything, but I will email you after this meeting for things I can't think of. But I think that does start as a basis for that particular respect. And I can tell you right now, in East and West Tampa, we got a lot of people that need jobs.
Yeah.
A lot of people are struggling. A lot of people are just asking for not a hand out, but a hand up. And that's what the CDC of Tampa and the West Tampa does. We don't give hands out, we give hands up to folks.
And honey, we have contractors that have their hands out saying, come work. So I think that can certainly work together. We just need to make
that will be, what can I say? That will be a plus for us.
Yeah.
Now we say we got the people, and now we got the match for the job. So it becomes a definitely workable type of transaction. Because at the end of the day, we want to transform West Tampa, just like East Tampa, and they got a bigger area in East Tampa, way bigger than West Tampa. You see, but we want to transform community, and I applaud East Tampa because they got like a big, large area, and people can't understand. We got a monster like that. You know, you might not see the result that you want because it's so big, but there are tangible results. And it's all about the long process. It does not happen overnight. It's the process of getting there. And the CDC of Tampa, they're kicking butts. This for the County. Ernest, I take my hat off to him.
I love it. Yeah. So just to give you an idea, I know there are challenges, and I want to hear, that's the next question I'm going to ask you, is what would some of the challenges be for us putting people on a construction site? So we have the Howard Franklin Bridge. If you've driven over it lately, cranes everywhere. It's under construction for at least 3 more years. 3 to 4 more years. They're about 1.5 years into their construction of a 5-year construction job. And then the West Shore, well, let me skip over to downtown. So to your eastern boundary, you've got a project that's already going on 275. We have another one where the interchange is going to have some safety and operational improvements. That's going to start next year. It's already been awarded. And then you have the West Shore interchange, which is the big mess of roads right next to the airport, right where the Howard Franklin comes over, right at the airport there. And that's a huge piece of it. That's going to start construction next year, but probably physical construction won't be till 2020. What is the next year's 2023? So 2024 timeframe, you'll start to see actual movement on that. And then the piece in between that connects them. So we're talking, that's the $2 billion. That's just right there in your backyard, Michael, right there in your backyard. The contractors will likely, we already have lane construction that's out at the former sorority house for, what are they, Chloe?
AKA.
Yeah, AKA.
On 7th Avenue, Michael.
Just in Tampa Heights. Right over there in Tampa Heights, lane construction is doing the 275, and they're going to be doing the downtown. We have a different contractor that's on the west end that's doing the Howard Franklin, and then we'll have another set of contractors, multiple ones, that are going to do that work from West Shore, and they'll have local offices. So what I'm trying to say is it's accessible to West Tampa, right?
Excellent. Definitely.
Right there. Like, I know transportation can be a challenge in childcare and healthcare and some of those other things.
Well, that's why we provide that background. If a person needs help with childcare, if they need transportation, that's why we provide the support services necessary for that person to be not just the job itself, but the support service. That person might need for a while issues with issuing out bus tickets so they can get to and from work. Like you say, daycare might be a problem. Substance abuse might be a problem. So we connect that person to substance abuse before we refer him to that job, because we're going to do an assessment when that person comes in to see what are the barriers that can keep you from working. Anywhere from family issues, whatever that case might be, we want to produce a person ready to work.
The DOT wants to understand that too, because if there are like, I love all the services you're talking about. It's perfectly complementary to exactly what we're saying. But if there is an opportunity where you feel like, oh my God, we're going to have a huge volume of need. And, if we need to provide some support for some of the services you're doing to expand some of that, that's what we want to know too. And we'll get further.
We'll take it to another level. In that respect. Right.
Exactly. Okay, good. So talk about, you mentioned some of the challenges. I think we've got our fingers on it, but are there other things that we need to be aware of as we're moving forward?